Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Flamecolava here, and honestly, I've never really played that many Warriors games. The only Warriors game that I've played before this game is Fire Emblem Warriors, and I only played around 2 hours of it. It was a great game from what I played, however, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity seemed interesting to me when it got revealed. It was essentially a prequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, taking place 100 years before that game, and telling us the story of what happened before Calamity Ganon came, and that got me interested as someone who had never played the original Hyrule Warriors. So now that I've beaten the game, it's time that I review Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. Now keep in mind there are some story spoilers in this video, so if you have not beaten the game, then do not watch this video if you do not want ending spoilers. So without further ado, here's my review of Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So just like I said before, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity takes place 100 years before the main event of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and is a Dynasty Warrior style game made by Koei Tecmo Games. They've also made other Dynasty Warrior games in the past, such as Fire Emblem Warriors and Persona 5 Scramble: The Phantom Strikers. Age of Calamity's story is about a baby guardian whose name is Terako, who can time travel, and he ends up going back in time to tell Zelda about the upcoming awakening of Calamity Ganon by a new antagonist called Astor. Now the story was really good at first for Age of Calamity. However, when I reached the almost middle part of the game, things got a bit weird. All of a sudden, apparently Terako bought future versions of characters like Sidon to help with stopping Calamity Ganon, but then the ending of the game was a bit disappointing to me. It ends on a good note, which makes absolutely no sense since Nintendo said that this is a prequel taking place before Breath of the Wild, yet it just leaves another time split in the Zelda timeline. So if I had to guess what happened, the time traveling thing with Terako is the timeline where they fail against Calamity Ganon and the events of Breath of the Wild happen. Then when Terako time travels, it's a what if scenario if they actually succeed at first at defeating Calamity Ganon. The story is a bit weird, however it was still pretty decent despite the outcome. Now, the gameplay of Hyrule Warriors is way more addicting than you think. It is a Warriors game and not everyone will enjoy the gameplay, however it was really fun for what it was. I had a lot of fun with the gameplay and you get used to it pretty quickly. Plus I love how every character controls differently. Honestly, my favourite characters to use were Link, Zelda when she awakens to her powers, and Impa. However, I really liked a lot of the characters in the game, such as Rivali for example, playing through them. Gameplay is what a lot of people are turned off by with this game, but it's really good, great and fun. I'm also really impressed by Koei Tecmo for the accuracy to Breath of the Wild in the game. It honestly looks like something Nintendo made, and I was really happy seeing Breath of the Wild characters again. The world was super accurate with including small details like how in the Great Plateau you visit the Shrine of Resurrection, which of course is where Breath of the Wild starts. Even the soundtrack for this game is really good. A lot of these are more heavier and fighting type versions of Breath of the Wild songs to match new gameplay, and I'm all for it. It's a great soundtrack and it really was what I expected. Plus he did an excellent job with some of the new songs and old ones. One thing however that is a bit disappointing is the loading times and frame rate for the game. I mean, it's Koei Tecmo's fault on this, especially looking at the loading times for Persona 5 Scramble compared to the PS5, Switch and PS4. But for Hyrule Warriors, they do take a while to load, and the frame rate, whilst it's better than the demo, still can be a pain sometimes. Still though, it's definitely an improvement compared to the demo. Age of Calamity also gives us a look at some new characters, such as the baby guardian, Terako, and the new antagonist of the game, Astor. Now, Astor is a pretty mysterious antagonist. We don't really know much about him, and he was pretty cool, and Terako was a really cute character. Spoilers, but rest in peace Terako. However, I really liked him in the game too. He was pretty interesting when we first saw him in the trailer as well. Age of Calamity also has a bunch of side quests such as the Koroks again from Breath of the Wild, and ones where you need materials from battle. I didn't do many of them, however you earn a secret ending from one, and it was nice to see post-game content in the game as well with fixing Terako. So overall, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity was a really great game. Whilst the story was a bit disappointing, it was still pretty engaging for me, and seeing all the Breath of the Wild characters again was really cool. Koei Tecmo Games did a really good job with this game, and overall, I give Age of Calamity an 8 out of 10. A really solid game, and it did a really good job with playing out like Breath of the Wild did. So yeah, that's today's video. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.